Hey everybody, it's Zach with the Mighty Electron, and I've got a question for this group. So I get this question a lot, and someone typically comes up to me and says, I'm going on a road trip next week, and I think I'm going to rent an EV to find out if it would fit well into my lifestyle, really give it a good test. So is that a good idea? Is it a good idea to rent an EV to take on a road trip to find out if you want to purchase one? Well, my neighbor ran into this same experience and he was all excited to tell me he was going on about a 4 hour road trip, nothing serious, just to another town to kind of have a little getaway. And so he rented a Tesla Model Y. And it was a nice one, good extended range. When he got back, he could not wait to tell me what a horrible experience it was. Some of his main complaints, first of all, he said I could drive for about 3 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. Then I had to stop and charge up. I had to find a charging station. Then I had to plug in and charge. I had to wait for an hour. Then I kept going. Once I got there, it was almost empty, so I didn't have the adapters to just plug in wherever, so I had to find a charging station there. Same story on the way home. I had to wait, then I had to plug in. It was just this horrible experience. In addition to that, he says, look, when I ran the numbers about how much I spent charging, he says I could have taken my Honda Accord up there for less money. I could have gotten there faster because I didn't have to stop and recharge. And it was horrible. I don't get why everybody loves EVs. It's horrible. It's a horrible experience. I get it. Here's why renting an EV for a road trip to see if an EV works for your lifestyle is a terrible idea. Here's how I want you to think about it. If you didn't have a cell phone and you said, hey, I want to rent a cell phone or I want to test out a cell phone and I'm going camping this weekend. So I'm going to borrow a cell phone and I'm going to take it up into the mountains and I'm going to test it out because everybody's talking about how great cell phones are and it'll be a great test. No, it's a horrible test for a cell phone because the reception's terrible. And when you get back, you're going to be complaining about all these roaming charges and I couldn't get reception and my calls kept dropping and then I had to plug it in. I didn't have any place to plug it in because I was up in the mountains. This was terrible. I don't get why everybody's talking so great about cell phones. I tell you what, my landline has never let me down. Every time I pick up the phone, there's a dial tone. I dial the number. It just works every time. I pay my $36 a month. Everything's just great. Okay, that's because you took a cell phone, which is a fantastic tool, and you put it in the worst possible scenario. That's what you do when you rent an EV to go on a road trip. You take an EV, which is a very efficient daily driver. In my opinion, it is a far superior daily driver than any ICE vehicle out there. And you take it on a road trip where it doesn't shine at all. Yeah, you are going to be having to wait for charge times. Right now, the technology cannot function well on a road trip. Same thing, it's like saying that you're going to get an EV truck, you're going to get a Rivian and tow your boat down to the lake that's 3 hours away. Then you come back and say, this thing's terrible. Well, yeah, it's not really towing. We're not there yet, technology wise. We don't have the battery capacity, we don't have the charging speeds, all that same thing. Same thing with road trips. So here's my advice to you. If you want to test to see if an EV is going to fit into your lifestyle, don't take it on a road trip. Just rent it for a week and live your regular life. Go to work, go to the grocery store, drop the kids off at school, do whatever you're doing. But don't go on a road trip. And then tell me how it works. Also, make sure that you're charging it at home because my experience, I charge at home. I don't drive more than 50 miles a day, which is like me and 98% of America. I don't know if that's a true stat. Fact check me on it. But I plug it in at night, it's charged in the morning, it's good to go. It's made right now, technology, it's made to be your daily driver for someone who doesn't commute 3 hours a day to work. What do you think? Am I way off? Am I being too apologetic? Am I giving EVs too much leeway? Or hey, is it just new technology and it'll come, but right now you got to use it for what it's best for? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you around. Thanks very much.